All right, so welcome everyone to tonight's info session. My name is Brittany Cochran. I'm one of the college navigators at CVCC here, and my role is to help you get started. So I will be working with you or one of my colleagues on, applying to CVCC, the financial aid application, and then making your first semester schedule. So if it happens to be Mechatronics or computer electronics networking program, which you'll be learning more about tonight, we would make that schedule with you and make sure that you're in all the right classes that you need for whatever your plan is. So I will point out, if this is anybody's first time on Zoom, there's a chat feature down at the bottom of your screen you should see. Feel free to post any questions in the chat throughout the session. We will open up for some questions and answers at the end, but I will go ahead and pass it over to Miss Marcy Gale, who is our program head for Mechatronics and the computer electronics networking degree plans that we have here at CVCC. So take it on over.
All right, hi everybody. I am Marcy Gale, and if you sign up for the Mechatronics program or the computer electronics networking, has a ridiculously long name, but I'll show it to you later. If you sign up for either one of those programs, then I will be your faculty, your teacher, your advisor, and your program head. So you will get to know me well if you join either one of these programs. We live up here in Framatome building. I got students going by waving at me. So yeah, we're all a big happy family. I'm going to show you pictures of the building and the labs and tell you about the programs and everything. Now, if you have questions as we're going, put in the chat. Brittany can alert me if there's a question in the chat, or feel free to unmute your microphone and ask. I have the same policy in the classroom. Ask the question while we're talking about the thing that you have a question about. I do not mind being interrupted. All right, I am going to share my screen with you. That looking good, Brittany? Okay, so if you're not familiar with the acronym CTE, CTE stands for Career Technical Education. And both of my programs come under that category of career technical education. A CTE degree is meant to be a 1 or 2 year degree with industry certifications embedded in there and then straight to work. These CTE degrees are full-fledged associate degrees, but they are not meant to be transfer degrees. So for instance, if you wanted to go transfer to Virginia Tech into the engineering program, then you should be in the engineering associate's degree. So if you get my degrees, 2 years straight to the workforce. Now, that being said, there's several programs around. For instance, Old Dominion University, ODU, is implementing some new, they're kind of crossbreed engineering degrees. They're like mechatronics engineering and industrial engineering, and they will accept courses from these programs on a 1-by-1 basis. So it's not an entire associate's transfer degree, but if you did decide you wanted to go further to ODU, for instance, many of the courses would transfer. All righty. Go. So first thing, Lynchburg industry needs you. There is a labor shortage in the entire country in the field, especially of manufacturing, and especially automated manufacturing, or advanced manufacturing, as it's also called. And I can't graduate enough of you fast enough. In fact, most of my students are hired before they even finish the program, long before. Almost all of my students are working and going to school at the same time. I have all age ranges of students. I have married, unmarried, families, no families, working, not working, living at home, not living at home, from 18 to 65. So whatever your situation is, you will fit in up here on the second floor of the Framatome building. And Lynchburg industry is desperate to have you. We need more people trained in automation to keep this city running. And you will be surprised at how much automated industry there is here in Lynchburg. I'm going to show you some examples of some of them. So is there a career waiting for me when I finish? The answer is yes, absolutely there is. In fact, it's probably going to get you before you even finish. And students that are employed in the industry sector are making really, really good money even before they graduate. And then when you do graduate, you get a premium on top for having that degree. All right, so here is one company that highly supports my program. As an example, there are many, but Fleet Labs, they were bought at one point by Prestige Healthcare. You might have seen their building out on the expressway here in Lynchburg. They are in the industry sector I call the packaging industry. So they package all kinds of personal care products. Over here, I don't know if you can see my mouse moving, but this is a line of some kind of feminine bottled product. You can see it running through a conveyor system. This yellow robotic arm is from a company called Fanuc, and there are a ton of automated systems in this town that use these bright yellow Fanuc robots. So as part of either of my programs, you're going to have the opportunity to take a Fanuc programming class and earn an industry certification, one of many included in the program. So that's CV Fleet or Prestige Labs. Here's another example. This one is Century Equipment. They also support our program highly. We have a conveyor right here in the lab I'll show you a picture of that was donated by Century. This is a picture of the inside of their facility. It's clean as a whistle, and it's a beautiful place to work. This fella on the right is looking at a programmable logic controller. That's another certification and course that you would take in this program. And then there on the bottom right, those guys are building a control panel, yet another course, another skill that you would learn in this program. Then there are many, many more companies in this town. So I kind of divided the industry in the town up to, and when I say in Lynchburg, I mean also the surrounding counties, Amherst, Bedford, Campbell, Appomattox. And the industries are pretty much dividable into 5 categories. There's packaging, so that would be like CV Fleet, like Abbott, like Frito-Lay. They're taking products and they're putting them into packages and then putting them in boxes and then piling those boxes onto pallets, maybe shrink wrapping them and then putting them on a truck for shipping. So there's packaging, there's communications industry, so L3Harris, Innovative Wireless Technologies, there's CommScope, a bunch of others that are in the communications, public safety radio, and municipalities communications business. I've got students currently just placed an intern over at L3Harris, and he's working in the electronics lab. So another industry is conveyors. Lynchburg is the conveyor capital of the world, and companies like ACS, Automated Conveyor Systems, and many, many others, Simplematic, BW Integrated Systems, on and on. We have a ton of conveyors in this town. You will learn everything you need to know to get a job at any of those facilities in many different positions. Then we have nuclear. So there's BWXT, obviously, and Framatome. They hire our mechatronics and electronics computer networking graduates. BWXT is considered the premium employer in town. So this is one way to get in that door. Then we have OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. Belvac would be an example of that. You might have seen billboards all over the place recently for our positions open at Belvac. They've just opened a huge new additional building, desperate to hire people. They're offering signing bonuses, as are many of these other companies. So this just a sampling of the industry in this town and the types of industry that are hiring mechatronics and electronics computer networking graduates. The beauty of these programs is they're so flexible, and there are just so many different areas and so many different ways that you can go once you have this training. All right, so how do you get there? What classes do you take? Well, here's a cool thing. The mechatronics program and the electronics program are about 65% common classes. So a lot of the classes you would take no matter which way you decided to go. The other 35% kind of branches off and heads you in a slightly different direction. So there's a lot of core classes that you could take if you weren't even sure which one of those 2 you wanted to do before you had to make a decision. And we'd rather get you in the right one to start with But if you're in the wrong one and switch over, you probably haven't lost very many credits. All right. The programs are divided up into thirds. So each of them has 2 career study certificates that would be awarded. That's a credential from the college. And then the last third, you would earn your associate's degree. The embedded inside both programs are industry certifications. For instance, OSHA 10 certification, your Virginia Manufacturing Association, 2 certificates there called Manufacturing Specialist, Manufacturing Technician 1. If you go with the electronics computer networking route, you are prepared to sit for the Cisco networking CCNA exam. We have a certificate that comes with the Programmable Logic Controller, PLC class. That's a Rockwell Automation certification. We have one with the FANUC Robotics class, End of Arm Tooling certification. So by the time you finish, your resume is very heavy because it's full of all these certifications, certificates, credentials, degrees, on and on. There's a lot of things. Now, if you are interested in a degree like this, you probably don't want to take calculus, and you probably don't want to spend all your time sitting in a classroom listening to somebody like me talk. Every technical course in this program, in either of these programs, has a lab associated with it. So you want to get your hands on some equipment, we got you. All right, let's take a look at the facilities. This on the right is the Framatome Technology Center. Our building is all the way at the back of the campus. We live on the 2nd floor. This is our kingdom. Nobody bothers us. It's great. And then this picture on the left is just a picture of the inside of the building. We also in the mornings host the Regional STEM Academy. So we have high school students that come in and take some classes. And then in the afternoon and evening, the rest of us kind of take over that space. All right, here is a picture of some of our classrooms. So the top right is a picture of the electronics combination classroom lab. And you can see over on the right, there's lab benches. So we'll spend some time sitting in the chairs, learning some stuff about electronics. Then we're going to jump right over to the lab benches and build circuits and learn how to use DMMs, digital multimeters, oscilloscopes, AC and DC power supplies. We're going to learn about how to build circuits with components. And all of that, you can see on the picture underneath there, there's a picture of a digital multimeter and an oscilloscope and a circuit board and a power supply, all kinds of stuff there. The picture on the bottom in the middle is a picture of our networking classroom. And then the picture right above it is the racks of equipment that are in the back of that classroom. So again, you're going to sit at your networking station and program some packet transfers, and then you're going to go to the back and pull and plug wires and get your lab to work. The picture on the left is one of our computer-enabled classrooms. It's actually the one I'm sitting in right now. So that whiteboard you see at the front is this one behind me. You can see the big 80-inch digital screen. So the rest of our classrooms up here have the big monitor screens. So teachers can put a PowerPoint or video or something up there, and then the board is free to work. As you can see, I've been writing on this board just before this class, teaching logic and circuit design. And then there's the computers that are in these classrooms. We have two classrooms stocked with computers. A lot of times these classrooms are empty. And if you want to just come here and work on these computers, you don't have to sign up to go to a computer lab elsewhere on campus. These computers are yours to use if there's not a class in this room. All right, here's some pictures of some of our labs. Top right, you see that same yellow robotic arm like you saw in the picture over at CB Fleet. We're going to have, we just got a new grant. It's about $500,000. And so I'm going to be buying 3 more of these robotic arms. And next spring, we'll offer that class for the first time. There's a light curtain around these robots so that when they're running, if you step through the light curtain, it'll shut down. So we don't have to have them enclosed in a physical enclosure for safety. Then just below that robotic arm is the motors control training system. I have, that's a rack of equipment there. It's got interchangeable panels so that you can I'll give you a lab with a schematic on it, and you're going to hang all the panels that you need, wire up with just plug and place wires. And we'll do things like have switches control processes like lights turning on and motors spinning and all kinds of stuff like that. To the left in the middle under the word labs, there's that conveyor I was talking about. That's the conveyor donated by Century Equipment. And you see that big gray box to the left of it. That's one of the boxes that is in the bottom left picture there. Those are custom designed PLC trainers that we designed here ourselves. Those roll right back into this classroom. You use the computers in here to write your code, load it into those trainers. We roll them back into the lab and hook them up to the conveyor, and you can see immediately whether your program is controlling that conveyor in the way that you intended it to. There's all kinds of sensors on the conveyor, so your program will be reading sensor input like a light beam or a limit switch and seeing if your program responds correctly. Over there on the far left on the top, that is the certification trainer for the Rockwell Automation PLCs. This is a highly valued industry certification. You will get that for free. It comes with taking the class. You just have to pass the certification test. And then the middle picture on the bottom is just an example of some of our extensive tool room. We have a beautiful tool room. If you're part of the Mechatronics program, you'll take a whole class if you are new to tools in hand tools and power tools. We have a great teacher how to read multi-view drawings in order to explain how to use the tools, and then lots of opportunity to practice using these tools on real stuff. So classes are in person and hands-on. For your elective classes and just a very select few of the classes, you have the choice of taking them online just to help with your schedule flexibility. So if you want to take your English class online, you can. If you want to come take your English class in person, you can. Whatever you want to do to design, however you learn more comfortably or whatever's going to fit into your schedule, Brittany can help you figure that out and arrange your schedule so that it works with your work and your life and the classes that you want to take. We do have a preferred order because it makes sense to take things in a certain order just so you get the most out of them. Some things you have to take in a certain order and some things you don't. So these pictures are just examples of students working in lab on various projects. Another thing I used to do, and soon will do again, is take students on field trips. So whatever industry the majority of the class is most interested in, I can arrange a field trip. I have a really strong relationship with all of the industry in this town, and they love us to come and visit. And they love to come to our classroom and talk to you directly. We had a Flowers Bakery come over here just a couple of weeks ago and speak to a class, and they brought a giant box of fresh baked bread. It was still warm in the bag. Yeah, it was great. These industries are so anxious to get to you that there is a lot of access. We'll introduce you to industry people. I'll take your resume. I'll send it directly to the hiring manager at a certain company if you decide you want to work there. We'll set up interviews. We do a lot to help you take your degree and do what you want to do with it and have a successful life. So our main goal is to prepare you for employment and do what you want to do. There's a lot of opportunity in this town to do exactly what you want to do, and a lot of competition for you. So higher signing bonuses, flexibility to work and attend class. Some companies like Frito-Lay, US Pipe and others are coming on board with this, are paying students clock time to sit in class. They want you to learn this content and they need you to know it so badly that they're going to pay you to sit in class. I feel that that's just going to keep expanding. The number of companies doing that is going to keep expanding as we go on. So the sky is the limit. Mechatronics, by the way, is a mashup. That word and the discipline is a mashup of mechanics, electronics, robotics, IT. This field is broad. You learn a lot of broad skills and they all come together to create automation, advanced manufacturing. And advanced manufacturing is on steroids to automate faster. We were already headed that way because of the aging of my generation, the baby boom generation. Everybody in this generation is retiring. There are not enough of you younger people to replace the retiring baby boomers. So we need automation to increase to make up for that decrease in the number of workers. The pandemic like doubled that rate. Automation sped up so much more because the number of workers decreased even further. And our country has decided that it's not so good all of the time to rely on China and some of these other companies to produce things for us. This is why we have supply chain shortage. This is one thing that's contributing to inflation and inability to get car parts or whatever, because we relied on other countries and it bit us. So the whole mood of the country right now is to move back towards let's make stuff ourselves. So this is adding to the labor shortage. It's all coming together in a perfect storm so that if you come and study either of these degrees right now, the world is your oyster. You are going to be the most in-demand worker in this area. So, Brittany, did you get the links that I sent to Michelle earlier?
I did not, but we can get them shared if you need to.
I'll just grab them right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is put the links that will go straight to the programs.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see, I got these. Copy link. All right, these are going to go straight to the program listings for the degrees. That one is the computer technology. And let me grab the one. No, that one's mechatronics. Sorry. Yeah, that first one was mechatronics. And then this one is the computer electronics networking degree. So if you click on either one of those links, it's going to take you to the course listing. So all the way down to what exact classes do you have to have in order to complete each of the certificates and then the degree. They're all stackable, by the way. You complete the first certificate and then you just keep going to the next one and then you get the degree. So it helps you build your resume and be qualified for a job along the way. It's not like extra stuff you have to do. We just added these credentials in there. Then, Brittany, are you going to talk about G3 funding or anything like that?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about financial aid. I had a couple questions about financial aid sent to me. So sure. Marcy's programs, Professor Gill's programs are G3 eligible. So G3 scholarship may be one that you guys have heard of. G3 scholarship covers our technical programs. So of course these, the mechatronics, the computer network, electronics program falls under that. But even if you are interested, in like welding or machine tool, or think other things technical, like paramedic, EMT type stuff, those are all G3 eligible. So when you meet with your navigator, that's one of the steps that we do with you is go over financial aid. What you all need to make sure you have done, if you haven't already, is complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. So if you are thinking of starting in the summer, you're going to want to do the 2021-22 year. If you're thinking of starting in fall with us, that will actually be your 2022-2023 year FAFSA. Both are out there on the FAFSA website right now. So might as, if you plan on doing summer and fall with us, just do both. But that's something we can help you with.
Let me jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
If you are interested in the mechatronics degree program, Introduction to Mechatronics is a course that I teach in the summer. So if you know this is what you want to do and you want to get started, then do the 21-22 FAFSA so that you can have that class covered for this summer. It's going to start on May 23rd. We will be in the lab working on that basic motors control equipment that I showed you. And then fingers crossed, I hope to be share teaching this class with another person. The other part of that class is going to be rehabbing our farming robot. We've got a farm bot and we took him apart, poor guy, and put him in a closet when the pandemic came. So he needs to have new belts and everything. We're going to work on getting that robot running as well. And then also some classroom content as well. Okay.
Yes, awesome. Let's see. So in the chat, you'll find the 2 links that Professor Gale shared, so you can see her programs, the class list. If you scroll up, I did share a link for our open house that's happening this Saturday. So we're having just a big welcome open house from 10 a.m. to 12. The link is there for you to register if you're interested in coming, and Professor Gale will be set up in the room with us, and we'll have, some other department heads there for you to check out, nursing, healthcare field, machine tool. We'll have the counselors there from the CVCC Counseling Center that you can meet, and some other people on campus. So it's a great kind of intro if you're looking to get more information or get started. We'll also do campus tours. So that is this Saturday if you kind of want to see things, up close in person and hands-on. Any questions? There was no questions I saw posted in the chat, but does anybody have any questions for Professor Gale or just for in general about CVCC and your next steps getting started? Feel free to unmute yourself or go ahead and post in the chat. We've got a few minutes here left. I'll give everyone just a moment here. No questions. Let's see, show of hands if you can. Did have you guys applied to CVCC yet or not yet? Or you can post in the chat if you've yes or no if you've applied. Or you can give me a thumbs up on Zoom for your little icons.
Quiet bunch.
No, we got a okay.
Oh, we got
one
a thumbs up. Yay.
All right. Yep. Okay. So a few of you have applied. I know someone had messaged me separately. Let me know. All right. Great.
Sorry,
So,
guys, but yeah, I've applied.
okay. Awesome. Great. Good. Well, good. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys, for you all. These info sessions are every Tuesday. They're recorded. They're up on our website. So you can go back and look at other ones that you may have missed. Or you can go back and check this if you joined us later, this evening to see what you missed from Professor Gale. But otherwise, that is all we've got for you all tonight. Unless you have any questions, hang around. Yeah, Professor Gale, go ahead.
Yeah, let me mention one more thing. So if you click on either one of those links on those pages, or if you go back one step, is my email address. And Perfect. So let me put that in the chat as well. And so if you have any questions, or if you would like to come and have a private tour, I am happy to do that as well. If I spelled that right. The central, yep, there you go. That's my email. So Perfect. Feel free to email me and we will hook you up.
Yes. All right. I'm not seeing any questions come through, so I think we're good. And hopefully we will see you all Saturday at the open house, or meeting with me to get you started on your next steps if I'm your college navigator. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. You guys
Thanks for coming, guys. I hope to meet you soon.
Have a great night.